From NBC News, this is Today.
When you think of birth control education, the first thing that probably comes to mind is not middle age.
But it's women over 40 who have a higher proportion of unintended pregnancies than women in their 30s. So we thought it was time to bring up the grown-ups guide to birth control, married or single.
That's right. It's all in this month's Ladies' Home Journal, where Julie Bain is the health director there.
Also, here's Dr. Rebecca Brightman, the OBGYN here in New York City. Ladies, welcome.
All right. So whether you are 15 years old or 50 years old, I mean, the best form of birth control is always the condom. Is that right?
Well, you need to combine it.
Right.
But I think especially for women our age, if you're divorced and you're dating again, you've got to refamiliarize yourself with the condom. It's your best friend. It's the only form of birth control that protects against STDs, which is really important.
So even though postmenopausal women who know that they're not going to get pregnant need to use them because you're going to still get. Is that the highest number of women actually getting STDs these days in record numbers? Or?
It's very high numbers. I mean, the HPV virus is very high.
Herpes, absolutely.
Wow,
Absolutely.
and I think, I mean, when you've been married for some time and you don't want to get pregnant, some women are on the pill. I mean, are there any other forms of protection you need to take? Because, I mean, when you look at the numbers, I'm sorry, but if half the people are cheating in this country, it's scary out there. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is scary out there, and I think women really need to be aware of the fact that as they get older, they may think, oh, I can't get pregnant. First of all, they can, and many of the unintended pregnancies I see in my practice are in women in their 40s because they think, I'm done having a family, so I can't get pregnant. Yeah. That's not true. So you really have to take a woman's personal considerations into play when they're thinking about birth control, and then that will help them dictate which choice they want to make.
Look at our table full of things.
Yes, which brings back a lot of memories. What should we talk about first?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to mention that the pill, talking about perimenopause, birth control pills can kind of help you through that transition. There are actually benefits. It can help with hot flashes and help with dryness and things like that. So I know a lot of women who have used the pill to kind of get through perimenopause.
What about the link? And I know they asked me this when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, but they ask you immediately if you're on the pill and tell you immediately to get off the pill.
Well, family history and personal history is really important, and it's very, very important for a woman to say to her doctor, whether or not she has a personal history, whether or not any immediate relatives have a history, because that would dictate which choice is better for her. She may opt to do something that's non-hormonal. But without any underlying medical or personal or family history contraindications, a pill can be great for a woman in her mid to late 40s.
Okay.
So what are the other options for women?
Well, the IUD was something that everyone said, forget that, never use that again.
What really surprised me when I was working on this story, I learned that in many other countries it's the most popular form of birth control, and it hasn't really caught on in this country because there was some bad PR.
Yes.
But it's quite effective. It lasts for a long time, and this copper one, for example, has no hormones.
No, there are two currently that are on the market. The Mirena here, which does contain hormones, it's good for 5 years, and then the Paragard, which can be kept in for 10 years, and they're great, but in the right patient. I am somewhat guarded about recommending it for my younger patients because in the back of my mind is that concern, will there be potentially infertility down the road, but for a woman who's done with childbearing, a woman who doesn't have issues with menstrual irregularities, heavy bleeding, bad cramping, the IUD is great.
Okay. What about that sponge?
The sponge is back. Remember the Sponge-worthy episode?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think for someone who's, if you're dating and not having sex regularly, you can go to the drugstore, it's disposable, you can leave it in for 30 hours, it's pretty easy. If you use it correctly, it has a pretty good effectiveness.
Pretty good. It does not protect against STDs, and I think that's really important. I think dating needs to be defined. Dating in a monogamous relationship or not.
You got to get familiar with these.
Absolutely.
Get over your squeamishness. Go buy some, keep them in your bedside stand, open them, play with them. Get over.
And I think people are really much more accepting of using condoms now.
Okay. What about that ring you got there? That Nuvo ring.
This is a great product, and people are becoming more and more familiar with it. The Nuva ring is a hormonal form of birth control, much like the birth control patch and birth control pills. And it's great for people who tend to be not terribly compliant and have a tough time remembering to take the pill. Essentially, this is the ring here, skinny little ring, is inserted with.
I'm sorry, we're at the we're about to go to commercial without anything. So thank you, ladies. I'm sorry.
This has been fascinating.
Yes, it certainly has. We'll be back after this.